Here's a bold claim from one of Britain's most polarizing figures. Nigel Farage, the Brexit architect turned political firebrand, is rolling up his sleeves and declaring his Reform UK party is ready to govern, if the British public gives them a chance. At a raucous national conference in Birmingham this week, Farage laid out a roadmap for a potential reform-led government, promising to tackle illegal immigration, roll back climate policies, and restore national pride. But here's where it gets controversial. He's framing this not as a far-right fantasy, but as a necessary response to a political system he claims has left ordinary citizens angry and abandoned. Let's unpack what he said, why it matters, and the questions it raises for the UK's future. Farage, the longtime leader of Reform UK, formerly the UK Independence Party, delivered a keynote speech that blended hardline policies with a rallying cry for national renewal. To a crowd of thousands at the National Exhibition Centre, he vowed to end the boat crisis within 2 weeks by halting illegal migrant arrivals, a pledge that immediately drew both cheers and skepticism. He also promised to revive stop-and-search policing tactics and dismantle the UK's net zero emissions targets, positioning his party as the only force capable of making Britain great again. This isn't just posturing. Reform UK, once a fringe outfit with just 4 MPs, is now polling at historic highs, challenging the dominance of Labour and the Conservatives. Farage's confidence is rooted in a growing sense of disillusionment among voters who feel the mainstream parties are out of touch. "People tell me I'm their last hope to get this country back on track," he declared, accusing Labour of incompetence and the Conservatives of being led by unqualified people unfit for government. But here's the twist. Farage isn't waiting until 2029, the next scheduled election year. He hinted the vote could come as early as 2027, citing Labour's internal turmoil after the recent resignation of Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner. "We must be ready for government at any moment," he said, a line that underscores his aggressive strategy to position reform as the inevitable successor to the crumbling two-party system. To solidify this ambition, Farage announced the creation of a government preparation department. Led by ex-Reform chairman Zia Youssef, the move signals a shift toward professionalism, a stark contrast to the party's earlier reputation for controversial candidates and chaotic campaigns. New defectors like former Tory minister Nadine Dorries further bolster Reform's credibility, though critics question whether these additions will translate into broad appeal. Farage's agenda isn't just about policy, it's about identity. He painted a vision of Britain that celebrates national sovereignty, free speech, and economic resilience. His recent trip to Washington, where he lobbied U.S. politicians to pressure Britain on free speech reforms, sparked accusations of unpatriotic behavior from Labour leader Keir Starmer. Farage, however, insists such efforts are vital to protect British values from what he calls North Korea-style censorship. Yet the road to power isn't without obstacles. Reform UK still trails the major parties in donations, and business leaders remain a cautious audience. Farage's pledge to end the exodus of wealthy Britons to tax havens is a bold promise, but skeptics wonder how he balanced populist rhetoric with economic pragmatism. Meanwhile, his immigration plans, like repealing human rights laws to enable mass deportations, face legal challenges, even as they force the government to toughen its own policies. And this is the part most people miss. Farage isn't just competing against rivals. He's reshaping the political landscape. By focusing on issues like free speech and border control, he's forcing Labour and the Conservatives to adopt harder stances to stay relevant. But does this mean Reform UK is a legitimate alternative, or merely a destabilizing force? The answer may hinge on whether voters see Farage's promises as visionary or reckless. So what's next? Farage's team is building momentum. But translating that into parliamentary success will require more than catchy slogans and standing ovations. as one young woman shouted, "Tax the rich!" at the conference, prompting a dramatic security intervention, revealed even reform's base isn't monolithic. Can Farage unify his movement while navigating the complexities of governance? Or will his boldness backfire, as it has in the past? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your views in the comments below, because this story is far from over.